You know, sometimes I really sit with my thoughts and I think about how different life has felt in each stage of my journey. My teens, my 20s, and now stepping into my 30s. And honestly, it feels like I have lived three completely different versions of myself. In my teens, I did not really understand what I was feeling. I just knew something inside me felt heavy sometimes, but I did not have the words for it. I was just trying to fit in, trying to be okay, trying to be normal like everyone else. In my 20s, that's when things started to get louder inside me. That's when I began looking for connection, for someone who'd really understand me, not just hear me, but actually see me. I thought maybe if I opened up enough, if I trusted enough, if I explained myself enough, someone would finally get me at a deeper level. I started believing that maybe there would be at least one person who would stay, who would not judge me, who hold my story gently. But what I experienced instead was something very different. Every time I opened up, every time I let my walls down, I noticed a pattern. People would listen, yes, but somewhere along the way, it felt like it was not understanding. It was simply a sympathy. And I have learned the difference in a very painful way, because sympathy feels like someone is looking at your pain from a distance, like they feel sorry for you. But empathy, a real empathy, is when someone sits with you in your pain and still chooses to stay. And compassion, that's even rarer. And I think that's what slowly changed me over time. Because every time I trusted someone deeply, every time I thought, maybe this time I can be real, maybe this person will understand me, I would eventually realize they were never really meeting me where I was. They were only seeing my struggles, not me. And that hurts in a way that's hard to explain. Because you start questioning yourself. You start wondering, is it me? Am I too much? Am I too broken? Am I asking for too much just to be understood? And now in my 30s, I look at life very differently. I don't chase people the same way anymore. I don't open up as easily as I used to. Not anymore now. Not because I don't want connection, but because I have learned how fragile trust can be. And how often people mistake vulnerability for something they can just respond to with sympathy instead of real understanding. But even with all of that, there's still a part of me that longs for genuine connection. A part of me that still hopes there will be at least one person who will not just hear my story but truly understand the weight of it. And I think that's the hardest part of growing up like this. You keep going, you keep hoping, even after being disappointed. You keep trying, even after being misunderstood. But slowly, over time, life teaches you something quiet but powerful. Not everyone is meant to understand you deeply. Not everyone is capable of holding your story the way you need it to be held. And that's not always a reflection of your worth. Sometimes it's just reality. And now when I look at my life, from my teens to my 20s to my 30s, I realized something important. I did not just grow older, I grew more aware, more sensitive, more observant, more guarded. Yes, but also more honest with myself. I have stopped expecting everyone to understand me, but I have also stopped abandoning myself just to be understood. Maybe that's what this journey has been about. Learning to sit with myself when no one else fully can. Learning to hold my own story, even when others only see fragments of it. And if I'm really being honest, some days it still hurts. Some days I still wish there was someone who would just get it without me having to explain so much. But I'm also learning that maybe the deepest understanding I will ever find has to start within me first. And if you're somewhere in that same space too, where you have trusted people, opened up, and felt misunderstood, I just want to say this gently. You're not too much. You're not hard to love. You're just someone who needed deeper care in a world that often only knows surface level understanding. And if people could not hold your story properly, you still deserve to be held, even if it starts with you holding yourself.